Hey everyone! So let me ask you this. Have you ever been working on a song and there's some part or some fill that you're just really struggling with? The speed at which it's going is preventing you from making any real progress on that part. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how to initially slow down a section of music just to make our lives a little bit easier so we can get proficient at it and then speed it up again. Okay, so you may be thinking to yourself, well, does playing this slower really help me? Because live or for YouTube, I still have to play it up to speed. Well, yes, because once you've gotten used to this at a slower speed, once you've gotten proficient at it, you're comfortable with it, you can play the parts without having to think. You'll be able to play it up to speed more easily. And keep in mind that you don't have to jump all the way back up to the full speed either. You can ease yourself in. All right, so as an example, let's take the song. This is Ticks and Leeches by Tool. Just gonna play you a short little section here. So this section of the song is basically, there's a ton of fills going on. And it's almost like a mini drum solo underneath. And when I was first learning this song myself, yes, it was a lot of work to just be able to try to play through this because it's a lot of fast stuff. But even be able to figure out what he's playing, being able to understand the parts, and decipher it up to speed was also a challenge. So what I did was, what I often do on a lot of these songs is I took a section of it. Not the whole thing, but I took a chunk of it and I slowed it way down. So how do you do that? It's pretty simple. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take your track and you're going to split it up. All right. We'll say that this is the section that we care about, this little clip that I've made here. So now that I have a little clip isolated, I'm just going to make a new track. I'm going to copy it down. All right. And now I have isolated on a separate track just the section of music that I care about. Now, every DAW has a different way of handling this, but it's all the same thing. You need to take the audio and you need to stretch it. One word of warning, the more you stretch it, the more kind of junky it's going to sound. That's a little bit of the trade-off. So just kind of keep that in mind. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this. I'm just going to select this so it's the only thing that's selected, right? I don't want everything else selected, just this guy. And in the DAW I'm using, so this is Cakewalk by BandLab. I'm going to go here and I'm going to do length, okay? And there are a few options in here. So by default, what usually you have to keep an eye out on is whether or not there's anything that's called stretch audio. You have to make sure that's turned on, otherwise it's not going to do what you want. And then you need to change this percentage. So if 100 means it's going to be exactly the same length. A smaller number means it's going to be faster. A bigger number means it's going to be longer. Okay. So I'm going to end up doing 200%. That means the audio is going to be twice as long. And that really means that it's going to be playing back at half speed. Okay. Now there's also these different types of audio stretching. You might find that some work better than others. I usually find the ones that take forever to do processing are the ones that will result in a higher quality sound. So you don't want to kind of skip out on this effect. You might have to do a little bit of investigation on your side to see which one is going to give you the ideal result. So I'm going to just kick this off. This actually is going to take a little bit of time. So I'm just going to have it start processing and we'll come back when it's done. Okay, so the processing finished. Went a little bit quicker than I thought. So we'll see how the audio quality came out. I don't know why, but in this DAW, it always jumps the audio to the beginning of the project. That's just a little pet peeve of mine that it does that. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit play in the middle of this. We're going to see how it sounds. Now I can see visually it does look twice as long, so it should be at half speed, but we'll see in a second. So obviously it does sound a little weird because we've stretched it so much, but it is a lot easier to tell kind of what's going on, what all the individual hits are when he's switching from one tom to the next. It's not so fast that it's just blowing past you, right? For me, this just made life so much easier to be able to learn the parts and then practice it at this tempo until I had everything memorized. And then I made another version of this. I went back to the original clip and I made another slow version, but one that was not nearly this slow. So I could build up at that speed before going back to the original speed. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little tidbit there. If you're interested in seeing more lesson videos or tips on recording gear for your drums, or a look at different comparisons on drumsticks or cymbals, then don't forget to subscribe to see all that content as it comes out. Until next time, peace.